And we've got a full day of baseball coming up. And to begin it, here's Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. On the floor, batting .268, and he takes a fastball in too close, ball one. Remember when these two met in Detroit the first time, LaFleur started the game with a home run for the Tigers against Guidry. Now the left-hander serves, and there's a swing and a miss. 1-1. The Yankees were saying in that performance that Guidry put on at Tiger Stadium that he was not as fast as he had been in previous assignments. He's a hard-throwing left-hander. Here's the ball in close, 2-1 in the count. 12-0, what a record for Ron Guidry. Kemp waiting on deck. Now the left-hander winds and pitches, and it is a ball in too close, 3-1 on leadoff man LaFleur. Tigers the only team to have beaten Guidry twice in his lifetime. There's a line shot base hit to left field. LaFleur looking for the fastball, got it, and ripped it into left for a single. So he's on first base, and Kemp will be the batter against the left-hander. Sunshine tried to get through the overcast here in New York. He's got a breeze that seems to be blowing out from the right field corner toward the left. Hard to discern in this ballpark because it swirls around a lot, depending on the contour of the stand. Here's Kemp at the plate, batting .270. Man on first base, Ron LaFleur. There's a flip over to first, Ron back in time. Set by Guidry, and he kicks and deals. It is a ball wide of the plate. Kemp read of the bunt, did not offer. Nettles playing at third for New York. They've got Fred Stanley at short, Garcia at second, Chambers at first base. In the outfield, Johnstone is in right. Thomas in the center field, and Pinella in left. Thurman Munson is the catcher. Guidry, the little left-hander from Louisiana, kicks and deals. Here's a bunt in the air, foul. Nobody will get it. It's not high enough to get under. The ball takes one skip and bounces up into the seat. And a gentleman from Greenwich, Connecticut, caught that on the hop. 1-1, the count on Kemp. Well, the Tigers now have a 2-4 record this year against the Yankees. Flip over to first to Chambliss, and LaFleur back in time. Statistic list, LaFleur is having 26 stolen bases. He says they took one away from him. He told me that today. I don't know whether that's right or not, but they've got him 26 on the stat sheet that they gave us today. Here's the set and the pitch. He swings and fouls it away right down below. 1-2, the count on Kemp. No score. This game's just started. It's the first of the Sunday doubleheader in New York. Now LaFleur edges off again. The pitch is bunted toward third. A good one. Here comes Nettles to field the ball. Picks it up for the first. Not in time. Everybody's safe. It'll be a base hit for Steve. Nettles a little slow getting to that ball. He was playing fairly deep. He made an unnecessary throw, and Kemp beat it out. Well, the Tigers have stepped the table for Rusty Staub. 2 men on and nobody down. Rusty batting .293, 10 home runs, and 56 RBIs. Guidry in first inning trouble. Tigers, by winning yesterday, snapped a 3-game losing streak when they beat the Yankees. Their record on the road now on this trip is 3-4. Staub takes the ball outside. Guidry's curve low and away. Rusty had 4 hits yesterday. The third Tiger this year to do it. Rodriguez and LaFleur did it before him. He takes a hard curve wide. 2-0 the count on Staub. He's hit safely in 13 of the last 14 games. strike, a fastball poured in about belt high on Staub. 56 RBIs for Rusty, puts him number 2 in the league. Rice is the leader. He's leading in just about everything. He's leading in RBIs at 68. Here's a swing and a miss. He served him. 2-2 the count on Staub. LaFleur at second. Kemp at first base. Guidry at second is signed with Munson, ready to go to work now. They set the pitch. Swing, foul fly out of play upstairs, third base side. Sounds like a very enthusiastic crowd here. They're still coming in. That's what happens in the doubleheaders. They come in a little bit late. They turn to applaud 2 strike pitches. Now they set the pitch. Swinging the bounding ball wide at first, base hit, right field. LaFleur coming around third, he'll score. There goes Kemp to third, draws a throw to Nettles, and in safely is Kemp at third on the single by Staub to get the run home. 1-0 Tigers, runners at first and third, nobody down. A ground single to right by Rusty Staub, getting the Tigers into a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. 3 straight Tiger singles off Guidry. Now it'll be Jason Thompson. Tied for third in home runs with 17. Jason hitting .299. They've got the infield in a little bit. In the double play depth on him. Kemp getting down the line from third slightly. Not much of a lead for Staub at first base, where Chambliss holds with him. Jason takes a curve and hits the corner for a strike. His RBI total is 50, an even 50. And he'll be followed by Aurelio Rodriguez. 1-0 Tigers lead the Yanks in the first inning of the first game. There's a curve again, and it's wide, 1-1. Tigers are home tomorrow night. It'll be Wednesday night and family night at Tiger Stadium. Tigers battling Toronto. There's a bounding ball to third. Nettles comes home, and the tag on Kemp in time for the out. They get the front man. Kemp trying to score on the bounce to Nettles at third. That moves Staub to second, puts Thompson at first base on the fielder's choice. It'll bring to bat Rodriguez. Not a very close play at the plate. Aurelio batting .276. The outfield slightly around the left on him. He has 5 home runs and 22 runs batted in. Swings as a line drive to Nettles. He gloves it for his second double play. Staub is doubled off and then he drove it. Nettles made a good stop with a low line to third and turned it into the double play that stopped the Tigers. However, they get a run. 1 run on 3 hits. No errors, and 1 man left on base. And at the end of a half inning, Detroit won, and the Yankees coming to bat.
When I traded in my old wagon for an economy one, all my buddies said I'd have to give up a lot. You know, ride, room, comfort. Well, I didn't give up. I got this Plymouth Valari wagon. I sure didn't give up big car rides. I didn't give up room for 6. I didn't give up comfort. Oh, I did give up one thing when I bought my Valari wagon. A lot of trips to the gas station.
Don't compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel, 6-cylinder Valari wagon with manual transmission at 25 miles per gallon highway, 18 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Valari wagon, America's first choice of wagons over the past 2 years.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Get a Valari.
for a great value on Plymouth Volare. See your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Well, Mr. Rosemar has been staked to a 1-0 lead as he gets ready to face the Yankees in the last half of the first inning of the first game of the Sunday doubleheader in New York. Well, we would like to salute on their 62nd anniversary two longtime Tiger fans, Clarence and Irene Arcand, Arcand. Our thanks to their loyalty, and we hope for them the very best. Jay Johnstone will be leading off now for the Yankees against the Rose here in the last half of the first inning. Rosemar with a record of 3-4. He's 0-1 against the Yankees now this year, and lifetime against New York of 1 win and 1 defeat. This is the 11th appearance for Dave and also his 11th start. Remember, he lost that tough game in Detroit for the Yankees. That was the game when Dave went 8 in the third shutout inning. Reggie Jackson then tied the score in the ninth, and the Yankees moved to 3 runs over in that ninth inning to give Rosemar his loss, the 4th loss that he suffered. Last time out in Cleveland, he won 6-1 with a complete game performance, giving the Indians 9 hits. Here's Jay Johnstone to lead it off, the right fielder. Left-handed batter. Nettles will follow, and then it'll be Munson. Hitting .240, Jay Johnstone. Here's the ball outside. The first pitch from Rosemar. Very wide. They've got Rodriguez in close at third base. The other infielders are in normal depth. The outfield straight up on Jay. He takes him too close. Ball 2 to count on Johnstone. Happy birthday today to the umpire, Mike Riley, celebrating number 29, the gentleman from Battle Creek. Johnstone stepping out. I think he got something in his eye. In that series at Tiger Stadium beginning tomorrow night, it'll be Wilcox against Clancy on Wednesday night, the first game against the Blue Jays. And in the Tuesday night game, Steve Baker versus Baylor Moore. There's a bounding ball to first. Thompson has the hop, makes the play unassisted, and there's 1 up and 1 down. Greg Nettles, the sharp fielding third baseman, talked with these Yankees, and they are unanimous in the opinion that he's the best fielding third baseman in the league. They say you have to see him every day to appreciate his artistry over there at third. And he has certainly taken quite a few hits away from the Tigers this season. Greg Nettles, left-handed batting third baseman against the right-hander Rosemar. 1-0 Tigers lead. There's a strike call. Tigers have played 5 doubleheaders. They've not won one this year. They've split 4 and lost 1. They lost 1 to Boston. Fly ball lifted into center field straight away and not deep at all. Here comes LaFleur. He has it for the out. And that's 2 down. Thurman Munson, the veteran catcher, ready to step in. Munson has hit safely in 4 of the last 5 games. Batting average at .278 for Thurman. 4 homers and 34 runs batted in. He's one of those batters who likes to take a lot of time as he gets into the batter's box. Rosemar, ready to go to work, gets his sign, pitches. And it is a ball over but low, ball 1 on Munson. 2 out, nobody on. First inning, Tigers lead the Yankees 1-0. He cuts and misses on a slider toward the outside, 1-1 the count. Now the Rose checks out with Parrish. His battery mate lines and pitches, and Munson looks at the ball in close. 2-1 on the Yankee catcher. Got a big husky bat boy here for the Yankees. They call him Rerun. I don't know why. That's his nickname. Here's the motion, the pitch. There's a ball outside. He didn't think it was a drill. He would hope. 3-1, the count on Munson. 1-0 Tigers, first inning. And the Rose kicks and deals. Munson hits a foul grounder sharply past third base. 3-2 the count on him. Had a very pleasant chat just a moment ago while Paul was doing the introduction of the game. Had a nice talk with Mel Allen, the former voice of the Yankees. Mel lives in this area now, and he's the voice of the Week in Baseball, you know, that is syndicated on television. Other than that, he's not working on the air. He's a distributor for Canada Dry. Waiting on a 3-2 pitch now is Munson. Here it comes, and he swings as a drive to left. It'll be double, and a fair ball off the wall, chased by Kemp. Outscored left center field. It's a stand-up double for the Yankee catcher Munson. Chambliss will be the batter now for the New Yorkers. Chris hitting .304, 6 home runs and 45 RBIs. So with 2 down, Munson tags a 3-2 pitch and drives a double off the wall in left field. Tigers ahead 1-0 in the first. Chambliss played straight away and deep by the Tiger outfielders. And he takes a high, hard one, ball 1. He'll be followed by Lou Piniella, the left fielder. Chris, a closed stance, left-hand batter. Swings at the fly ball to left. There goes Kemp over to his glove side in the corner and has it for the out. So that retires the side. The Yankees have no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and lead 1. And at the end of 1 inning, it is Detroit 1, New York 0.
What does a tribute to Jimmy Durante have in common with the Anatomy and Song? Those were 2 recent subjects for Ted Strasser's popular Patterns in Music, a unique program that blends words and music to unusual themes, whether it's a time, a place, or a mood. Each pattern reflects painstaking research and thought that results in premier entertainment every Sunday morning beginning at 8 a.m. Musical knock-knocks, Courts of Paradise, Jukebox Saturday Night, and The Kiss are reflective of the broad scope and ingenuity that are part and parcel of this top-flight weekend presentation of the Goodwill Station. What will be the topic this week? Well, why not join Ted Strasser for the answer? Patterns in Music, Sunday mornings at 8, here on WJR, Radio 76.
Did you know the most errors in a game by a team is 12? And that's Chicago, and you guessed it, Detroit share the dubious honor. I'm Frank Beckman, WJR Sports.
Mickey Stanley will lead it off now for the Tigers. The Tigers got a run off Gidry in the opening inning on successive singles off the bats of LaFleur, Kemp, and Stamm. Then after Kemp was out at home, and Thompson safe on the fielder's choice for the first out of the inning, Rodriguez lined to Nettles, who turned it into a double play as he caught the ball and fired it over to second to double off Rusty Staub. So the Tigers got one, but then they were snuffed out in a hurry. There's a ball high on Stanley, batting .215. Veteran right-hand hitting outfielder Mickey Stanley against Guidry. Guidry winds and delivers. It's a ball outside. 2-0, the count on Nick. He'll be followed by Parrish. And then it'll be Trammell. Guidry, a 27-year-old left-hander, pitches. Here's a foul back to the screen. Guidry almost quit a couple of years ago. He was at Seattle, and he felt so bad he got in the car, and he and his wife were heading home, and his wife said, let's turn around and go back. I think you can make it, and he made it big. Here's a ball low, 3-1 on Stanley. Guidry gets great velocity, and he's not a very big guy. He weighs 160. Fires that fastball in for a strike, 3-2. He's 5'11" and listed at 160 on the Yankee roster. Now the little left-hander ready to go again. You can hear the crowd perk up now as you got a chance for a strikeout. And he winds and pitches. There's a foul out of play. Paul made mention of that last inning. It's unusual to hear a crowd get that excited about a pitcher, especially in the first or second inning of a game. Right, you can hear the reaction now as he starts the windup and delivers. 3-2 pitch, swung on, base hit, center field. Well, Stanley didn't have any trouble with that one. He laced it over the head of Guidry on into center field. Let's pause now briefly at the station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Mark Avery drives the music home in the afternoon music hall, Monday through Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock here on the Goodwill Station, WJR Detroit, Radio 76.
Four singles allowed by Guidry now. And here's Parrish hitting 226. He fouls it away. That one came back in the dirt. Strike one, the count on Lance Parrish. J.R. Richard is the leader in strikeouts in the major leagues with 136. Guidry has 118. There's a swing and a miss by Parrish. Strike two, the count on him. He struck out 10 or more batters in 5 of his last 8 starts. Now, delivers. Here's a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Campbell will bat next for the Tigers. Young Allen hitting 265. Generally, when you see fastball pitches, strikeout pitches such as Guidry, there'll be a lot of balls hit in the stands, a lot of fouls. Now, Stanley trying to lead at first base, and Trammell takes the fastball for a strike. Now, this is the Yankees' 4th doubleheader. They swept their first 2 against Toronto, then they dropped one to the Brewers last Wednesday night in Milwaukee. Ground ball hit to the left side, backing up his net as he goes to second for 1. The relay to first won't be in time from Garcia to Chambliss. Ball not hit very hard, and Stanley went in hard on the second baseman, Garcia. So here comes Whitaker to bat. Sweet Lou hitting 301. Guidry has the best earned run mark in the majors, 1.71. The National League leader, Vida Blue, 2.15. Here's a strike called on Sweet Lou. 1-0 Tigers in the lead. The second inning, first game of 2 in New York. They've got Stanley on first now with 2 away. There's a drive to left, and that one will drop in for a base hit. Stanley holds it to second. And the Tigers have their 5th single in less than 2 innings off Guidry. Whitaker going to the opposite field on the fastball. And here's LaFleur, who started the game with a single and scored a run. Man on second, Stanley. Man on first, Whitaker. 2 out. There's a bounding ball to second base and a flip over to the shortstop, Stanley, from Garcia, and the side retired. So it's no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 runners are left, and we go to the last half of the second. The Tigers won, New York nothing.
Well, Ernie citing the fact that Ron Guidry has the best earned run average in the majors right at this point. He also leads the American League in strikeouts with a total of 119 now with a strikeout of Parrish here in the second inning. No question but what his best pitch is his fastball, and he goes to it whenever he's in trouble. Some of the Yankees around the ballpark, Yogi Berra, Elston Howard, and Whitey Ford still in this area, have been asked to compare Guidry to previous left-hand pitchers that the Yankees have had, and they had to go all the way back to Lefty Gomez to find another left-hander to compare with Guidry for sheer velocity on his fastball. That puts Guidry in some pretty fast company because Gomez pitched for the Yankees from 1930 to 1942, and he's third on the list for all-time Yankee career victories and for strikeouts. Only Whitey Ford and Red Ruffing go ahead of Lefty Gomez in those departments.
Lou Piniella will be leading up for the Yankees against Rosner. The Tigers ahead of the New Yorkers 1-0 in the last half of the second inning here in the Yankee Stadium. Stands continuing to fill up. They've cut down the capacity of this ballpark now. Used to be almost 80,000. I think it's around 57.5 now, something like that. We'll look it up. But it has been reduced by a considerable amount. Taken out a lot of seats. They've shaped up the field as we were mentioning the other day. So here's Piniella at the plate hitting .317. The Rose pitches, and it's a ball in close. Well, we've checked it. 57,545. Thank you, Paul. That's the seating capacity. And the house that Ruth built and the house that the New York City rebuilt. There's a strike.
And, a lot of talk about the rebuilding of this and how much it cost. It certainly did have an overrun, but they did an excellent job in rebuilding the stadium.
1-1, the count on Lou Piniella. Rosmer delivers. Here's a ground ball at the Trammell. He backs up, has the hop. The first got him, and there's one away. Reggie Jackson will be greeted now by his following as he steps in. Jackson batting .270, 13 home runs, and 49 runs batted in. It was Jackson who delivered the blow that was the telling blow against Rosmer when Rosmer faced the Yankees last time out. There's a ball in close. He hit that ninth inning home run that tied the game, and the Yankees squeaked in 3 to win it. 1 out in the ninth at Tiger Stadium when Jackson hit one down the line, you remember, into the right field lower deck. They've got the outfield deep and straight away on Reggie. And the 1-0 pitch. He swings as a high fly lifted his straightaway center, not deep. LaFleur is there. He has it. And there are 2 away. Last time Rosner pitched against the Yankees, I was talking to Yogi Berra and Elston Howard. They were very much impressed by the way he kept the ball down and by the excellent control he showed against the Yankees in that game. Here's Gary Thomason, the center fielder, batting .221 in 61 games, 6 homers, and 27 runs batted in. Had a 3-run homer yesterday off Billingham. Left-hand batting outfielder Gary Thomason. Tigers 1, Yanks nothing, second inning. 2 out, nobody on for New York. There's a check swing on a curve that's ruled the ball. Lou DeMuro umpiring behind the plate. Kaiser, Riley, and Haller on the bases. Here's a line shot to left. It'll be a hit. He'll get at least 2 out of that. The ball chased down in the corner now by Kemp. And it is an easy stand-up double for Thomason. So the Yankees in each of the first 2 innings have seen their first 2 batters go out, and then the third one double to left. Munson did it in the first. Thomason does it here in the second. Damaso Garcia will be the batter now. Young second baseman with a .217 batting mark. This is the 9th game in which he's appeared. He made his debut in Detroit against the Tigers after they brought him up from Tacoma. One nothing Tigers lead. The Yanks have a man at second and 2 down in the second inning. Rose steps and pitches. It is a strike. He gave him a slider. Yankees have 5 hits. They've all been single. Yankees have 2 hits, and they've both been doubles. There's a ground foul down past Dick Hauser, the third base coach. Strike 2, the count on Garcia. Fred Stanley, the number 9 batter, waiting on deck for New York. Now the Rose that checks his sign with Parrish, his catcher, and delivers. It is a curve outside. Garcia attempted, but he didn't go through with his effort to make a swing. He held off. Man on second. That's Thomason leading down the line. Is the stretch by Roseman. He pitches. Garcia swings on the bounding ball. Deep second. Whitaker has it. Throw to Thompson at first. Retires the Yankees. Good play by Lou. He got over there in a hurry. The ball smashed through the pitcher's box. So it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. And at the end of 2, Tigers 1, New York nothing.
Here comes a sharp breaking curveball in the Labatt's Baseball Trivia Quiz. Ready? Name the last man to steal home in a World Series game. That could be a hard one to remember, but here's something a little easier. Yes, fans, Labatt's is fine imported beer, the best beer Canada brews. It's a special brew for your special times. Shipped fresh to you with pride. Labatt's, the Clearwater Blue Sky Taste of Canada beer. Brewed in Canada since 1828. All right, it's the bottom of the 4th, 7th game of the 64 series. Cardinal Mike Shannon is on first, Tim McCarver on third. Suddenly, Shannon breaks for second. When the throw goes to second base, McCarver steals home. Did you remember that? Then you just slid in under the tag in the Labatt's Baseball Trivia Quiz, brought to you by Labatt Importers, Amherst, New York. This is Jim Guerra. Leader Dogs for the Blind provides for all eligible blind people. For information, write Leader Dogs for the Blind, Rochester, Michigan.
Well, we don't have any scores to pass along to you yet because this doubleheader got started just about a good bit of time before everybody else got into action in the 2 major leagues. But as the afternoon progresses, we'll have a lot of them for you, and then when the doubleheader is over, Paul Carey will have all the scores on the award-winning Paul Carey scoreboard show. So we'll just give you a little reminder about that. Here's Kemp at the plate now. He had a single his only time up against Guidry. 1-0 Tigers lead it. Here's the fastball high and away to Steve ball 1. He'll be followed by Staub, and then it'll be Thompson. Tigers score to the first on a single by LaFleur, a single by Kemp, and a single by Staub. Swing and a miss. That was his breaking ball, 1-1. Gidry pretty much ignored by the Yankees until the middle of last year. Then he came on very strong. Kemp fouls one upstairs, and the count is 1-2 on him. And toward the end of the year, he was by far their outstanding pitcher, and he's continued it on into this season. Ron Gidry, G-U-I-D-R-Y, winds and pitches. Here's a swing and a miss. He's got 2 strikeouts. Rusty Staub stepping up now. Rusty singled his only trip. Hope he'll be out at Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. It'll be Wednesday night. Lots of big doings out there. Pre-game ceremonies you'll enjoy. Swing and a miss on the slider. Strike one on Mr. Staub. 1 run, 5 hits to Detroit. No runs and 2 hits for the Yankees. There's a pitch outside, a 1-1. It's family night tomorrow night at the ballpark. That means the head of the household gets in for $5 and $1.50 each for every other member of the family. And they have designated seating in the upper deck. Pitch in too close on Staub at 2-1. Gidry winds and delivers. Here's a swing and a miss on a fastball about belt high. Must be shaking his head a little bit. And this crowd, again, in anticipation of strike 3, beginning its applause on the young left-hander Gidry. Staub in there waiting on a 2-2 delivery. Swings and fouls it away to the screen. This is a high fastball. Billy Martin watching the action from the front of the dugout bench. Here's the pitch. Outside. He stands there with his hands in his hip pocket. Gidry comes right back with a curve swing and a miss. He struck him out on the bad pitch. Well, it was a good pitch for Gidry. I mean, it was not in the strike zone. That's why I missed that pitch. But a big, dipping, breaking ball toward the outside. So he picked up 2 strikeouts in this inning. Facing 2 men, and here's Thompson. Jason was safe on a fielder's choice on a ground ball hit to Nettles in the first inning. Nettles made the play at home, and they picked off Kemp trying to score from third. It's the ball outside. One nothing Tigers. They're batting in the third in New York. Swing a fly ball at deep center. Going back is Thomason. Still going, and it is over the fence in deep center field. Bounces up into the bleachers after it clears the fence. A tremendous center field home run by Jason Thompson. Now Thomason just kept going back and back and back, and the wind took that ball a little bit, I think, and it cleared the barrier, probably about 425 feet. So Thompson hits number 18. The Tigers lead 2-0. And that's another Superior home run. Jason's homer earns him a free case of those crispy, fresh Superior potato chips. There's another case of Superior potato chips to the Lewis house. That one hit straightaway center field, and you don't hit many out of here to straightaway center field in this ballpark. Here's Rodriguez, and he takes a fastball high. The first extra base ball for the Tigers, and it went all the way. 2-0 Detroit, third inning. Cut and a miss. 1-1. Well, that's one thing about fastball pitching. He gives a little velocity to that ball when it rebounds off the bat. But he's only allowed 4 home runs this year, that being the 4th. That's amazing. Now the 1-1 pitch to Rodriguez is high. 2-1, the count on the radio. Gidry checking his time with Munson. They wind up from the pitch. Outside the ball 3-1 the count. Rodriguez lined to Nettles for double play to end the first inning. Tigers 2, Yanks stopping in the third. In too close, he walked him. That'll be the first Tiger walk. And Stanley, who has a single and one trip, will be the batter. Right-hand batter against the Yankee left-hander Guidry. Chambliss holding on the bag with Rodriguez at first base. It is a ball low fastball to Mickey. A line drive over the mound for a base hit the first time he batted against Guidry. Very pleasant day here, a little bit warm, but got a nice breeze. Here's a strike called. He took a hard one above the knee. 1-1. Hit by Guidry. He pitches. It is a ball low. 2-1 the count now. Stanley waiting on the next delivery. Ron delivers. Here's a ground ball to the left side. Gloved by Nettles. Slips it over to second baseman Garcia. And they achieved the force on Rodriguez to retire the Tigers, but the Tigers got another run on the homer by Thompson. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. That at the end of 2.5 innings. Detroit 2 and the Yankees nothing.
I know a friend when I see one. And I know everything when I live. I know where to go when I need a helping hand. That's why I've got a friend who's a marathon man.
Friends can add a lot to your life. That's why when you're taking care of something important like your car, it's good to do business with somebody you know by his first name. Somebody who takes you and your car personally and treats it like it was his own. Somebody you ought to know. You're Marathon Man. Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better. And we do.
Rosemont with a 2-0 lead, ready to face the New Yorkers now in their third inning. Fred Stanley, the ninth man in the batting order for Billy Martin, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Jay Johnstone, and then it'll be Greg Nettles. Rosemont won his first 2 decisions this year, then lost his next 4. And then picked up that victory we mentioned over in Cleveland. So here's Chicken Stanley, as they call him, batting .282. Bucky Dent still out of action. Here's the motion by Rosemont, and he delivers. It is in too close on Fred Stanley, ball 1. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Detroit. The New Yorkers have no runs, 2 hits. They've made no errors. Stanley cuts the ground ball to Chambliss. Nice hop for Allen. Slips it over to Thompson. He's out. Leadoff man Jay Johnstone coming up. He bounced to Thompson unassisted in the first inning. Left-hand batter against Rosemont. And he takes the fastball outside. Ball 1. Outfield straight up and the infield back except for Rodriguez. There's a curve that hits the mark, 1-1. Tigers got a run in the first inning on 3 straight singles by the first 3 batters before Kemp and Staub. Then they got their second run in the third on a home run by Thompson to deep straightaway center. Slider in too close, jammed him. 2-1 the count on Jay Johnstone. He'll be followed by Nettles. Doubleheader time in New York. Here's the motion and the pitch. It is a ball low. 3-1 on Jay. Ground foul hit sharply down past third. Michael had to move in a hurry to get out of the way of that one. Well, the 4th of July used to be the traditional halfway point in the baseball season. Really not anymore. The All-Star break has sort of taken that over. Although the 4th is still regarded by some as sort of a yardstick. 3-2 count on Johnstone. Here's the pitch by Rosema. Fouled away, he checked his swing, and the ball hit the bat and rolled down the third base side into foul territory. Fourth of July, too, they used to have some of those morning-afternoon doubleheaders. They sort of fallen by the wayside since the advent of night ball. Here's a 3-2 delivery. Swinging the bounding ball to the right of Whitaker. He's deep. He has it. The throw to Thompson got him. And there are 2 down with Greg Nettles coming up. He flied to center his only trip. Well, Nettles wants to Lou DeMuro to look at the baseball.
Tigers ought to ask Lou DeMuro to look at Nettles' bat.
They did once. 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was too late. They'd already hit a home run with it.
That was over in the other ballpark, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Stadium. There's a high pop-up back of third base. Rodriguez cruising under it near the line. He has it. It was fair by a foot. And Rosman sets them down 1-2-3 in the third. At the end of 3, Tigers 2, Yankees nothing.
I bought an economy car. Nice little car. Of course, I had to give up big car rides.
I just bought a smaller car, too. I gave up a lot of passengers. But with prices going up and up, I figure you gotta give up. Well, I didn't give up. I bought a new Plymouth Volare 4-door, and I didn't give up the things I want. I got the big car ride Frank gave up, the room for 6 Harry gave up, plus the compact economy they didn't give up. So why didn't they buy a Volare? I give up.
Don't compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel 6-cylinder Volare 4-door with manual transmission at 28 miles per gallon highway and 20 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Volare.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Get up, don't
For a great value on Plymouth Volare, see your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Radio 76 salutes Cornelius de Coker, recent recipient of the 1978 Outstanding Young Engineer Award from the Engineering Society of Detroit.
Tigers 2, Yankees nothing. Let's go to the 4th inning. Here's Paul Carey.
All right, Ernie Harwell, thank you. Lance Parrish leading it off for the Tigers here in the 4th. Lance became Guidry's first strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. Guidry is stand 3. Into the motion. Guidry delivers, swung on and missed. Might have foul tipped that one into Munson's mid.
The slender left-hander rocks back. Here's the pitch to Parrish. High and inside. The Tigers have collected at least one hit in each of the first 3 innings. Got 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Swing and a miss by Parrish. 3 straight hits led to a Tiger run in the first inning. And a home run by Thompson in the third. Now the applause begins as the Yankee fans are looking for a strikeout. Here's the pitch. He struck him out. Well, Parrish goes down for the second straight time swinging. And that'll bring up Alan Trammell, who bounced into a force out his first time up. The Tiger shortstop hitting .263 at the moment. Here's the lineup from Guidry. The pitch is swung on and missed. The slider. Left arm on Trammell, and he got it right under the wrist. He was given a lot of help by Spucky Lyle in that area. Guidry always has a blazing fastball, but developed a good slider thanks to Lyle, who showed him how. There's a swing and a fly ball down the right field line. Racing toward the line is Johnstone. He's there to make the catch. So they're 2 down in the Tiger 4th inning. And that'll bring up Lou Whitaker, who singled to left his first time up. Hit one off the end of the bat. Dropped in down the left field line. Center fielder Thomason is really playing Lou to hit late on a Guidry fastball. He's moved over to the left side. There's a swing and a bouncer to the right side. Foul into the field seat. Whitaker hitting .304 at the moment. He's been consistently making contact this year. His pitch is just outside. Ron works quickly, comes right back at Lou. Ball 2. 2-1 now on Whitaker. 2 out, bases empty in the top of the 4th inning. Ball got by Guidry on the return from Munson for a moment. Now the 2-1 pitch to Sweet Lou. He takes the strike. Backed off on that one and was fooled by the breaking ball. Says his fastball moves. That's why what Munson says makes him so effective. He is struck out. He took a look. And the Tigers get on in order in the 4th inning. 5 strikeouts for Guidry. Well, after 3.5 innings of play, it's the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
If you drive along the highway or make tracks across the snow, even biking across the country, Champion is the way to go. If you soar across the skyway or go cruising out the street, if you're into racing go-kart, Champion is the plug you need. Get by a better plug, get by a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
When the time comes for you to get your boat ship-shape from stem to stern, don't forget about those old, worn-out spark plugs. A tune-up with a fresh set of Champion spark plugs can give you quicker start, smoother performance, and more hours per gallon. So before you ship out, tune up with Champions. Remember, you can't buy a better plug than Champion.
Get by a better plug, get by a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
Year-old Dave Rosner has pitched very effectively so far today against the Yankees, but then he did again against them 10 days ago in Detroit, only to have things fall apart after the home run by Reggie Jackson in the 9th inning ruined the shutout bit. So far, he's got him blanked on 2 hits through 3 innings of play. Here's Thurman Munson. to lead off the fourth inning for New York. Thurm doubled his first time up. One of two doubles off Roseman so far today. The other one by Thomason in the second inning. Now Roseman looking in, getting the sign from Lansbury. Ready to go to work. Here's the pitch. Swung on a ground ball to left field. A base hit. Between short and third, and Munson, like that first pitch, is on with a leadoff hit. The first time in the ball game, the Yankees have gotten their leadoff man on base. Now, before Chambliss bats, let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Workers of the world arise with J.P. McCartney in the morning music call. Join him Monday through Friday morning at 6, right here on WJR Radio 76 in Detroit.
Chambliss 5 to left, his only time up against Roseman today. Munson will lead off hit at first base. Rosie ready, delivers outside. Roseman went to his stretch, looked back at second. There's nobody on second. And at the last second, a little glance over the shoulder to first where Munson is. Now he sets. Here's the pitch. High and wide, 2-0. Dave has not walked anybody, nor has he struck out anybody. Not really a strikeout pitcher. Gives you some tantalizing stuff at the plate. Not as bad a fastball as some of the players have claimed. It has deceptive speed. Here's the set, the pitch. Strike put the outside corner. He was trying to find that corner on Chambliss with the first two pitches, and he was either high or wide. 2-1 count on Chris. Now Dave is ready. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. He was outside. Well, this large crowd here trying to stir up the Yankees. They got their leadoff man on, Munson, and now Chambliss has a 3-ball, 1-strike count. On deck is Lou Piniella. Rosie ready. He delivers. Swung on. There's a drive to deep right field, but Stanley's right there. Makes the catch. Solidly hit. Munson halfway to second, retreats to first. Not really all that deep. It looked like it might carry further, but he hit it right on the nose. Fortunately, Stanley was playing just right. Here's one out now, and Lou Piniella steps in. Piniella grounded out to travel his only time up in this game. Yankees 10 games above 500. Well, the Tigers a notch below, one game below the 500 break-even mark. Well, the Tigers got July off right by winning yesterday after suffering through a poor month of June. They managed only 10 wins in the 28 games in June. Here's the pitch. Piniella swings. A bouncer to third. Rodriguez waits. He'll go to second for one. No relay to first. And the fact he just barely got Munson at second. Rodriguez backed up. He let the ball play him a little bit. Wanted a little better hop. He didn't want to get an in-between type play. And so as a result, it negated any chance for a double play. But there are 2 out now with a runner at first. Piniella safe on the force at second. And that'll bring up Reggie Jackson. They've got a sign out, and then more than one now. They're starting to unravel a bunch of them out there. Looks like they've been printed by some commercial concern. It just says Reggie, big red letters, Reggie in the right field stand. Roseman ready, delivers to Jackson. He swings, hits one up the middle. It's into center field, a base hit. Before over, headed around second for third is Munson, and he'll make it easily. That ball, I believe, was touched by Roseman, but he just didn't get the glove on it quickly enough. So Jackson keeps him going here in the fourth inning with his single. brings up Gary Thomason, who doubled the left his first time up. Thomason has hit well for average since coming over from Oakland. He was not hitting well. He had some power out in Oakland, showed some of that, but wasn't hitting for average. And with the Yankees coming into the ballgame, he was hitting .293. Pinella is at third, Jackson at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tigers lead 2-0. Pitch to Thomason. He takes the strike on the outside corner. Ooh, good breaking ball by Rosie that time. Had Thomason completely fooled. Thomason showed some of that power, hitting his first home run as a Yankee yesterday. A game with 2 men on. Tightened things up a little bit in that 8-4 Tiger win. The pitch from Rosemont. Swung on and missed. Thomason looked for a ball to be a little bit faster, and he was out in front of it. Rosie taking a little time now with men on base here. Working carefully to Thomason. He has a 2-strike count on him. He's set. Here's the pitch. He struck him out. A good pitch by Rosemont. Low around the shoe tops, and Thomason went gunning for it. Couldn't find it. The first strikeout for Rosemont, and it stops the Yanks in the 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2 men, and after 4 innings of play, it's the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
Radio's great tradition of exciting drama and ear-witness narration is alive and well at WJR, as Radio 76 provides a front-row center seat to Mike Worf's award-winning Kaleidoscope, with matinee performances daily at 1:15. Whether it be a conversation with one of the bards of Tin Pan Alley, some memories of a middle-aged movie fan, or an original radio play, Mike Worf presents a grand array of heroes and heroines, past and present, who have contributed in some way to the world in which we live. The Lincoln Plot, Operetta Memory, Ragtime Women, and The Frustrated Newsboy. Those are but a few of the many outstanding programs that contribute to the unique experience that is Kaleidoscope. Even the golden age of network radio lives again with memorable moments from the past. Accept our invitation to be a part of it all. Join the audience for Kaleidoscope, afternoons at 1:15 here on WJR Radio 76.
What a difference a day makes, especially in this busy world. I'm Mike Kenny, inviting you to join me for a wrap-up of your world, evenings at 11, here on WJR.
Top of the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium, along with Ernie Harwell, this is Paul Carey, bringing you Tiger baseball. Glad you're with us here today. We got 2 for the price of 1 this afternoon. Ron Guidry ready to face Ron LaFleur, and is up high for ball 1. LaFleur single left his first time up, then bounced into a force out to end the 2nd inning. Ron scored a run in the first. Well, he lined up by Guidry. Here's the pitch. Strike called. He clipped the inside corner on him. A pitch from Guidry. Check swing by LaFleur. It's low, 2-1. Well, LaFleur now stands second in runs scored in the American League, just 1 back of Jim Rice. Ron has 53. Fouled back to the screen. Ron with 26 stolen bases. Willie Wilson of Kansas City now the league leader with 29. Guidry ready, the 2-2 pitch. Turned him around inside ball 3. Sometimes I wonder if that applause, that rising applause for the pitch that could be a strikeout, might help the batter. There's a bouncer foul. Helps him concentrate, gets him stirred up a little bit. Tends to make him much more aware of the situation. Zero in, cover that plate. And And the applause starts. The 3-2 pitch to LaFleur. Ground ball to third. Nettles backhands it, can't pick it up. It's past his glove down the left field line. LaFleur is not going to try for second. He went just racing down the line, thinking he might have a chance to beat it out. He didn't curl at all at first. And they charged an error on Greg Nettles. I don't think he even touched the ball. He may have. But he brought the glove up too quickly, and it didn't come up into the pocket. Type of play that Greg Nettles is going to make in a hurry and make very easily normally. But he was trying to backhand it and be in a position to try to get that quick throw to first to take care of the speedy LaFleur. So the Tigers get a man on first here with nobody out. And the batter is Steve Kemp. Kemp had a bunt single in the first inning, struck out in the third. He squares, the bunt takes a strike. Kemp didn't like the call. He thought it was a little too low on him that time. LaFleur lengthens his lead at first. Here's the pitch. Up high. Guidry with the glove on the knee, getting the sign now from Munson. A 1-1 count on Kemp. Here's the pitch. It's taken low and away. 2-1. Kemp again squaring. Wanted to bunt, but it wasn't a pitch he could bunt. Tigers lead 2-0 here in the top of the fifth inning. Detroit with 6 hits. The Yankees have 4. Now the look to first. The pitch from Guidry. It's bunted in the air, caught by Nettles. A throw to first, and he is out at first. Oh, the Tigers are going to growl about that one. They doubled up LaFleur, who dove in, Chambliss, scrambling to take the throw off the bag. The Tigers are claiming he wasn't on the bag. And here comes Ralph Houk out of the Tiger dugout. Ken Kaiser made the call down there at first. To the delight of the Yankee audience, he has a spectacular out sign. Now, LaFleur is being separated by Huff and Suzuki. Ronnie kept the argument going with Kaiser. And the ex-Yankee manager, now of the Tigers, giving it to Ken Kaiser down there, one of the youngest of the American League umpires. House kicks some dirt. Starts to head back to the Tiger dugout. It goes as a double play, though. An attempted bunt by Kemp is popped in the air, and a good play by Greg Nettles. Off-balance throw to Chambliss at first, and he's called out to double them up. So the bases are empty with 2 down. And the batter will be Rusty Staub. The pitch from Guidry, swung on, check swing, foul off the facing of the upper deck. Staub singled in a Tiger run in the first inning, struck out, swinging in the third. The 1-strike delivery. He swings and misses. Rusty, last time up, went after a bad pitch when he had 2 strikes on it. That looks bad on it. Guidry has 5 strikeouts already. The windup, the pitch to Staub. Up high. Guidry with the most strikeouts in the league right now total, and for a game, he had 18 of them earlier this season in one game. There's a swing and a pop-up out to short left field. Stanley going out, coming in as Piniella. Lou makes the catch. That's all for the Tigers in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base after 4.5 innings. It's still the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
Can you afford to throw money away at the supermarket, in your car, where you bank? City National Bank knows every nickel counts. That's why there's a big difference between City National and those other banks that charge you for writing checks.
Nobody has got what City National Bank has got.
City National Bank saves you money again with combo checking. Keep a minimum of $200 in checking or savings. You write all your checks without charge. All your checks without charge. Combo checking. No other bank in Michigan has it. No statement fees. No charge for check. Don't throw your money away on annoying service charges on checks. Come on in and open a City National Bank charge-free combo checking account now.
Who's got it? Nobody but City National Bank.
Also available at National Bank of Rochester and First Citizens Bank in Troy.
Still 2-0 ball game here at the midway point. The Yankees coming up for their bottom of the fifth bats against Dave Rosemont. Tigers will be coming home after this doubleheader. Got a United charter to head home out of New York City. One of the few charters, actually, the Tigers take this season. And they'll be coming home after the long afternoon here in New York to take on the Toronto Blue Jays in a 2-game series. Monday and Tuesday nights, it'll be Windsor night at Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. And then a special Independence Day salute prior to the ball game Tuesday night. And the Indians will be in Wednesday and Thursday. That'll be Cleveland's first visit to the Tiger Stadium this year. There's a motion by Rosner. The first pitch of the inning fouled by Damaso Garcia. Rolling back to the backstop. 4 hits for the Yankees off Rosner in the first 4 innings. 2 by Munson, a double and a single. Thomason has a double, and Reggie Jackson a single. Garcia takes outside. We've been seeing a lot of Garcia in this series. In the previous one a week ago, Brian Doyle saw the activity at second base, all in the absence of Willie Randolph. The pitch, outside and low. Mickey Rivers has been reinstated. So he's available to the Yankees today, but not playing in this opening game. Bucky Dent still nursing leg injury. There's a little soft fly that may drop into left center field. Here comes LaFleur, and Trammell goes out. He can't get it. Bounces off to LaFleur's glove. I can't get the angle on that one too well. It looked like Trammell touched the ball, and then it seemed to come bouncing off the arm of LaFleur. It might have bounced off Trammell. He may have tried to tip it to run. I don't know. At any rate, safe at first is Garcia. And it's been labeled a base hit. Similar to play the other night, Friday night out here. The Trammell couldn't get. It's off his glove in front of LaFleur. Here's Fred Stanley. Tries to bunt it outside. Fred has done more than an adequate job at shortstop, while Dent has been nursing that severely pulled hamstring muscle. There's a set by Rosner, the pitch. Check swing is low, 2-0. Garcia on at first with a leadoff pop single. Rosie delivers. Strike called. Well, the Yankees got their leadoff man on in the 4th inning. The Yanks have left 4 on base. The Tigers have also left 4 on. There's a set by Rosie. He delivers. It bunted a high bouncing foul. Bunted it right to the side of the plate and took one high hop up toward the Yankee dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Stanley. Well, the Yankees will be on the road the rest of this week before the All-Star break, which comes up a week from tomorrow. That's the beginning of a break, that is. Yankees are going to be going to Boston from here, then to Texas, and Milwaukee. Tigers will be going home to take on Toronto and Cleveland, then finish up the week in Texas. Next Sunday night, there you will end before the All-Star break at Arlington, Texas. A 2-2 pitch. Up high, full count now on Fred Stanley. The Red Sox and Yankees have met on Monday and Tuesdays for 3 straight weeks. This will be the 3rd straight week when they go to Boston tomorrow. Very similar to the Tigers-Milwaukee schedule there for a while. Full count on Fred Stanley. Garcia first, nobody out here in the last of the 5th inning. Rosemar ready. Here's the pitch. Garcia goes. It's a ground ball to short. Trammell has only one play. That's at first. He gets Stanley, but on the run and hit, Garcia removed the possibility for a double play by getting down to second. Well, they've got a man in scoring position now with 1 down. And that'll bring up J. Johnstone, who is 0 for 2. Jay has gotten well this week, actually this weekend, in the batting average department. Billy Martin put him up in the leadoff spot on Friday night, and in the outfield, and he responded. Here's a strike on Johnstone. Veteran of National League play the last 5 years with the Phillies. A look to second by Rosie. The pitch swung on. There's a drive deep but foul down the right field side. With a runner in scoring position, working slowly. The 2-strike pitch. There's a ground ball foul. He threw the bat at it that time. Lost the bat. It came out near the mound. Roseman's going over to pick it up for him. The schedule's been kind of spotty in terms of homestands for the Tigers all season long, but it looks a lot healthier in the latter part of July and through the month of August. The Tigers are home a great deal. They'll be home the last 2 weeks, or a week and a half in July, and home considerably during the month of August. Two strikes to count on Jay Johnstone, 1 out. Garcia second. 2-0 Tigers here in the 5th inning. Rosemar ready now. The pitch to Johnstone outside. Strange schedule. 3 months of the season goes by, and an old arch rival, Cleveland, hasn't even been in Detroit yet. Here's the pitch. Swung on. There's a ground ball. Gloved by Thompson. He'll make the play unassisted to first to retire Johnstone as Garcia takes third. That took a bad hop, and Thompson reacted very quickly on a high hopper. Here's Greg Nettles at the plate. For 2 for Nettles. He has fly to center and pops the third. Garcia wanders away from the back down the third baseline as Rosemar has not even taken the sign yet. Here's a stretch. The pitch to Nettles. Outside from Rosemar. Nettles came out of American Legion ball in San Diego. Originally with the Minnesota Twins. And to Cleveland, then New York. Roseman's pitch is outside, 2-0. Well, the gold glove for third baseman is being passed around now. Brooks Robinson has hung it up. Aurelio Rodriguez wins it a couple of years ago. Greg Nettles last year. He swings and bounces one toward Thompson. He'll make the play unassisted and retire the Yankees. In the fifth inning, they get a man to third, and that's it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left after 5 innings. It's the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
I know a friend when I see one, and I know a good thing when I see it. I know where to go when I need a helping hand. That's why I've got a friend who's a man.
If you like your car, and you like driving it, and you depend on it like you do a good friend, you like to know it's getting what it needs to run good and being taken care of like it's supposed to. That's
Oh, a little sixth inning Dixieland here at Yankee Stadium. Or maybe it's the Gobi Desert. I'm not sure from the dust clouds swirling around the ballpark after grooming of the infield. Jason Thompson will lead off the Tigers' sixth inning. Detroit ahead 2-0 in the opener of 2 games. Ron Guidry against Dave Rosner. Guidry into the motion. The pitch to Thompson taken high. For a ball, Guidry has walked 1, struck out 5, and has given up 6 Tiger hits. Tigers have not had a hit since Thompson's home run in the third inning. The pitch to Jason, he takes the strike. Thompson tends to go to left center field against a good left-hand pitcher such as Guidry. And he went to straightaway center for that homer. There's a bouncer's foul down the first base line. Well, you go to left center here, and you've got to hit it a long way to get out of that ballpark. It's 430 up the power alley in left center field. Thompson, Rodriguez, and Stanley, the first 3 scheduled batters for the Tigers here in the 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch to Thompson. Outside, he was beginning to bail out on it. The curve broke off too far out. Primarily a fastball pitcher, but he has that good slider that Sparky Lyle helped teach him. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. 1 down, and before Rodriguez bats, let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Jimmy Lawrence leads your bunch to lunch, Monday through Friday mornings from 10 to noon here at America's great radio station, WJR Detroit.
Right-hand hitting Aurelio Rodriguez, waiting on Guidry now. 1 down, nobody on. They pitch. There's a called strike. Guidry has struck out 6. Feet close together on the mound. Rocks back. Here's the pitch to Rodriguez. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. I'll bet the applause will keep right on going here with 2 strikes on him. Yep. Wind up the pitch to Rodriguez. High and wide. Looks like he was wasting one that time to Aurelio. Now, Guidry ready. The 1-2 pitch. Foul to the screen. Aurelio just barely got a piece of that one. Well, once again, Mark Fittrich was in the outfield stretching out his shoulder. Playing catch out there really is what it amounts to, but he's throwing longer than he would to at the mound, but not with the velocity, not a normal pitching motion either. Throwing to John Hiller. There's a ground ball to Nettles. He backs up at third. The throw across the diamond in time to get Rodriguez 2 away. That'll bring up Mickey Stanley, who's 1 for 2, a single in the second inning. He grounded into a force out in the third. Stanley hitting .224 at the moment. Mickey's still having a little trouble with that index finger on his right hand. He takes one a little low, jammed it. Trying to make a shoestring catch on Friday night on a low liner. Ball 1 on Stanley. The pitch from Guidry. There's a strike. Tigers will go with Milt Wilcox against Jim Clancy in the opener of the 2-game series with Toronto tomorrow night. And then on Tuesday night, Steve Baker will pitch against Baylor Moore. Swing and a miss by Stanley. So Guidry is ahead of him with a 1-2 count. And the crowd looking now for strikeout number 7. Stanley not quite ready to get back in. Now he's in. Here's the windup, a 1-2 pitch. He threw the bat at the ball and apparently fouled it. That goes out over Guidry's head, out towards shortstop. Stanley will come after it. Mickey just barely fouled that one off of the plate. That was crossed back and Stanley missed it. Tried to catch it. Having trouble like a baton over the goal post. Count remains 1-2 on Stanley. Just barely got a piece of that ball as the bat slipped out of his hand. 1-2 count on Mickey. 2 out, bases empty. 2-0 Tigers here in the 6th inning. The pitch to Stanley. Just outside. But a good crowd at Yankee Stadium. Not everybody's left town for the holidays. By any means. Stanley swings, fouls one down the right field side into the stand. Well, they've got enough people to draw from here in the metropolitan New York area. Plus, of course, all of the tourists that flock to New York. All visiting teams have their supporters here. Ground ball to third. Nettles has the hop to throw across the diamond to Chandler. Stanley is out. That's all for Detroit in the 6th inning. As Guidry sets them down 1-2-3. And after 5.5 innings, it's still the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
If you haven't read the new AM edition of the news, you just don't know what you're missing. Exclusive new columns like Where the Action Is. It's an early look at the stock market, betting odds, even lottery numbers. You're missing eye-openers with Margie Coons and reviews on all the latest trends. Plus the comment page with the timely observations of people like Pete Waldmeyer, Nicholas von Hoffman, and Bill Malden. The new AM News at newsstands at 6:30 every morning. It's the first good news of the day.
Reading the Detroit News AM edition can make you smarter. And from now until June 30th, richer, with a new game called Joker Poker. You play it like poker, with cards that appear Monday through Friday in the AM edition of the News. 2 of a kind could win you $50. A royal flush, $5,000. Joker Poker. No purchase necessary. Rules and entries available through the Detroit News or in the new AM edition. Like they say, it's the first good news of the day. Only now, it's even more so.
Bottom of the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium, Thurman Munson will lead it off for New York. Thurm is 2 for 2 against Rosema here today. He doubled in the 1st inning and then singled in the 4th inning. Rosie has been able to pitch out of problems. The Yankees have had men in scoring position in 4 of the 5 innings against Rosie. Game 2 will find a left-hander, rookie Dave Racich, who was just called up from the Yankees Tacoma Farm team in the Pacific Coast League. On the mound, he's been primarily a relief pitcher down there. Tigers will come back with Jim Slayton, who beat the Yankees a week ago yesterday in Detroit. A delay before they start at the bottom of the sixth inning here at Yankee Stadium. Ready to go. Munson steps up to the plate. He'll be followed by Chambliss and Piniella in the Yankee sixth inning. Well, you can't really call the heart of the batting order because that extends right up to the number 2 position with Nettles, Munson, Chambliss, Piniella, Jackson. Add Thomason in there, who's hitting much better now. Munson likes to take a lot of time settling himself in the batter's box. Here's the windup and the pitch to Munson. He is brushed back a little bit. Ball 1 on third. Well, as Ernie was pointing out yesterday or the day before, certainly one of the best clutch hitters in the business, Thurman Munson. He takes ball 2 a little high. Had that poll recently picking active players with the best at their position in terms of being a clutch player, and Munson and Fisk, I believe, tied for the catcher's role. There's ball or strike 1 on Thurman on the outside corner, 2-1 on him. As a catcher in the National League, perhaps underrated, should be ranked up there. Ted Simmons. Ball 3-1 on Munson. Rosie hasn't walked anybody yet. But he's gotten behind Munson here in the 6th inning. Rosie now getting the sign from Parrish into the windup, the 3-1 pitch. There's a line drive to right. Stanley comes on, makes the catch. Hits hard, but Stanley didn't have to move too much in to get that one. 1 down in the 6th inning. We'll bring up Chambliss, who's 0 for 2 against the Tiger right-hander. He's flied to left and lined to right. Hit it hard to Mickey. Rosema into the motion, the pitch. Chambliss takes an off-speed pitch up high. Rosema shakes off one side, has the one he likes. Here's the pitch. Ball 2 to Chambliss. Tigers originally drafted Dave in the January draft of 1975. He was their 4th round pick. Out of Grand Rapids Central High School. 2-0 count on Chambliss. 1 out. Bases empty. They pitch. Swung on. Fly ball to left center field. Kemp, drifting to his left, is there calling for it. He makes the catch, and there are 2 down in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Lou Piniella. Rosema threw a lot of pitches his last outing last Tuesday in Cleveland, going all the way in that 6-1 Tiger victory, but felt no pain after that ball game, after that long effort. There's a slider outside. Rosie has a good changeup. Doesn't have that great fastball to make the change that much more effective, but he varies his speed. Works the ball around. There's a fly ball, deep left center field. That's well hit. Kemp goes back. Now LaFleur is calling for it. Makes the catch out in no man's land. That was hit over 400 feet. But that's not the place to hit the ball here at Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees are retired 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. After 6, it's the Tigers 2, the Yankees nothing.
During this break in the action, here's an update from WJR News. Former President Richard Nixon delivered some comments on world affairs today as he took part in the dedication of the Richard M. Nixon Recreational Center in Hayden, Kentucky. In his first public address since leaving the White House almost 4 years ago, Nixon said South Vietnam went under because after the peace treaty was signed with North Vietnam, the U.S. decreased its support to Saigon while Russia increased aid to Hanoi. Memphis Mayor Wythe Chandler has declared a civil emergency in his Mississippi River City and announced a nighttime curfew. That action came after a night in which more than 200 fires struck the city during a fireman's strike. Vice President Mondale says Israel has agreed to take part in a U.S.-sponsored meeting in London with the foreign minister of Egypt. Israeli Prime Minister Begin says that meeting will be the opportunity for renewing negotiations. Despite protests from environmentalists and an adverse court decision, state agricultural officials still are fighting for the chance to use a controversial poison on a pest that's threatening the state forests. Detroit's temperature 64 degrees. Bill Smith, WJR News.
We're getting the information on the ticker now that Rick Waite has a no-hitter going after 5 innings for Cleveland today against Toronto. They're getting some rain in some parts of the Midwest, though. They've held up the game at Chicago and in the National League, the Philadelphia Cubby game. And at Pittsburgh, they've got rain right now, too. So it is coming toward the east. And coming to the microphone, here's Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. There's a swing and a miss by Parrish on a changeup from Guidry as the 7th inning gets underway. Tigers lead them 2-0. First game of a Sunday doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. Parrish has been up twice, struck out each time. There's a ground ball to third base. Big hop for Nettles, throw to first to Chambliss, and there's one away. Trammell will be the next batter. He's hit into a force out to third and fly to right. Nettles had 11 chances, the way I count him. He's made 1 error down there at third base. That's assist and putouts combined. He's been a very busy man. Here's the windup by the left-hander. Guidry delivers a foul at the back of the plate over the screen in the seat. Tigers got a run the opening inning on singles by LaFleur, Kemp, and Staub. Staub got the RBI. And then Thompson added the second run with a tremendous home run to deep center field in the 3rd inning with nobody on. That's the story, 2-0 Detroit. Fastball low, and the count 1-1 now on Trammell. Whitaker will be the next Tiger batter. Guidry has struck out 6. The left-hander kicks and deals. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Stanley has this one for the first. Chambliss got him by a step and a half. Now the Tigers are 2 up and 2 down in their 7th inning. They've not had a hit since the home run by Thompson with 2 out in the 3rd. Following the home run, Rodriguez had a walk. And then leading off the 5th inning, LaFleur was safe on an error by Nettles. Those are the only 2 runners that have been on since that 3rd inning home run. So here's Whitaker about ready to step in against Guidry. 2 runs, 6 hits for Detroit, no runs, 5 hits for New York. Guidry into the windup, kicks and deals. Here's a strike called on Lou. A single and a strikeout representing his efforts at the plate this afternoon. Guidry doesn't take much time. Delivers. Here's a foul out of play. Swung late on the fastball, hit it upstairs. 2 strikes on Whitaker. White Sox leading Minnesota 6-1 there in the 3rd inning in Bloomington. Here's the pitch. Swing is a bounding ball to Stanley. Knocks it down, picks it up. Throw to first is not in time. He is safe. We'll wait for the score on that one. It was not an easy chance for Stanley. It'll just depend on the way the scorer sees it. One of those line drives that hit right in front of him, and he just couldn't handle it very cleanly. It's an error charged to Stanley, the shortstop. That's the 2nd Yankee error today. And here's Ron LaFleur. He takes the ball outside. Ron for the single for 3. Strike, inside corner fastball, 1-1 on LaFleur. 2-0 Tigers leading in the 7th over the Yanks. Guidry delivers. Here's a fly ball to right. Slicing may go foul. It is deep but foul back into the seat. One and two, the count on LaFleur. Dave Racich and Jim Slayton will be the pitchers in the second game. Racich just recalled from the Tacoma Club. They've used him mostly in relief, but he gets the starting assignment in his big league debut. Now the pitch, runner goes, ball is hit to right field. Johnstone is there and gloves it for the out. A hard liner stayed up in the air for Johnstone to haul it in for out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We go to the last half of the 7th. Tigers 2, New York 0.
When I traded in my old wagon for an economy one, all my buddies said I'd have to give up a lot. You know, ride, room, and comfort. Well, I didn't give up. I got this Plymouth Valari wagon. I sure didn't give up big car rides. I didn't give up room for 6. I didn't give up comfort. Oh, I did give up one thing when I bought my Valari wagon. A lot of trips to the gas station.
Don't compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel, 6-cylinder Valari wagon with manual transmission at 25 miles per gallon highway, 18 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Valari wagon, America's first choice of wagons over the past 2 years.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Get up, Valari.
For a great value on Plymouth Valari, see your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Seventh inning, New York Yankees coming about. The Tigers 2 runs, 6 hits. The Yanks no runs, 5 hits. Notice Billy Martin wearing glasses now as he watches the action from the dugout. And Mr. Stanley, the shortstop, charged with that error there in the first half of this inning, walking down in front of the dugout bench and looking up toward the official scorer, but not too pleasant an expression on his face. Well, here's Reggie Jackson to lead off for the New Yorkers. Reggie has flied a sitter and single. Tigers outfielders have been fairly busy. They've caught a total of 7 outfield flies so far in 7 innings. Reggie, the left-hand batting designated hitter, waiting on Rosema to get started in the last half of the 7th. And he takes a high breaking ball, ball 1 on Reg. Tigers are the 1 in the first on 3 singles, 1 in the third on a home run by Thompson. And that's the scoring so far. Here's a cut and a pop-up on the left side of the infield. Going back and left is Trammell. He's there. He has it for the out. Jackson pops to Trammell. Here's Gary Thomason with a 2-out double in the second, and he fanned in the 4th inning. He's the only man whom Rosema has fanned. Garcia is scheduled to bat after Thomason, and Jim Spencer, the left-handed batting first baseman, pinch hitter, is at the on-deck circle. 2-0 Tigers. Thomason hits a little pop fly that drops into center field on a check swing. Base hit. One of those excuse me hits, but he'll take it. That's his second hit. He and Munson have faced the Yankee attack with 2 hits apiece. The hits are even, 6 on each side. Tigers lead 2-0. Here's Jim Spencer. Spencer batting for Garcia. He's hitting .226 in 45 games. 7 home runs and 20 RBIs. Last year on this date, Spencer knocked in 8 runs. for the second time during the year when he led the Red Sox to a 13-8 win over Minnesota. Man on first. One man down, seventh inning. Tigers lead the Yankees 2-0. Infield and double play depth on Jim Spencer. That's Thomason at first getting a lead. And Spencer takes a slow breaking ball outside. Rodriguez wide of the bag and even with it at third. They've got Thermal full to his left over near second base. Now Parrish down to give Roseman the sign. He swings and misses on the change. The Boston-Baltimore game has been rained out. Now the set, the pitch, he takes the strike. That was the fastball across. One ball, two strikes on the bench batter, Jim Spencer. Now the set, the pitch, swing. There's a pop-up back of the plate. Here comes Parrish near the screen. Makes the catch. And Spencer is out, fouling to the catcher. Two down, still a man at first base. They've called Stanley back to the dugout. And we'll get Mickey Rivers coming up the dugout step. Mickey reactivated today, coming off the injured list. And he gets quite an ovation as he steps into the on-deck circle. Mickey Rivers is coming to bat. Rivers hitting .261 in 56 games, 4 home runs, and 19 runs by the minute. Left-hand batting speech to Mickey Rivers at the plate with a man on, and 2 down to the Yankees, 7th inning. The Tigers hold the lead 2-0. Roseman sets and pitches. Here's a foul drive hit deep to right. It's upstairs, but pulled too much. Strike one on Rivers, and Roseman wants another ball. Repeat that news we had from Baltimore. The game scheduled between the Red Sox and the Orioles in Baltimore has been postponed because of rain. Rivers takes a changeup that stays outside. 1-1 the count on Mickey. Thompson keeping the man close at first base. That's Gary Thomason. And Rivers cuts, and there's a foul ball hit down at the plate. The bat goes all the way past the first base coach's box. 1-2 the count on Rivers. Waiting on deck for the Yankees is Jay Johnstone, their leadoff man. Now, Roseman and Guidry have locked themselves in quite a duel here this afternoon in the first game of this Sunday doubleheader. 2-0 Tigers, man on first for the Yanks, 2 down, 7th inning. And Rivers swings. There's a little pop fly down the line and right, going over his Stanley near the wall. Will he get it? And he cannot reach it. It is out of play in the seat. Foul ball. Under the new configuration of the stadium, the foul line territory has been cut down a bit, and it's a lot like Boston, where the stands come out and run along the foul line, and there's only a space of, I would say, no more than 3 or 4 feet, if that much, between the foul line and the stands, and that's where that ball was hit, and it reached the stands out of the grasp of Mickey Stanley, the Tiger right fielder. That keeps Rivers alive at the plate. Greg Thomason still at first base. And Rosma has slowed his pitching pace now. I don't think he wants that ball either. He wants another one. Now the Rose is about ready to resume action. He sets and pitches, and Rivers takes a curve high. 2-2 the count on Mickey. Tigers got a run in the first on a single by Staub, following singles by leadoff man LaFleur and the second hitter Kemp. And then in the third inning, with 2 out and nobody on, Jason Thompson hit a long fly ball to center field for a home run. There's a swing and a fly ball to the right. Mickey Stanley going over near the seats, and he leaps. He can't get it, and that is off the wall, I believe. And we're going to have an argument. Here comes one run in. Rivers coming around third. He's coming home. A fan races on the field, picks up the ball, and I think we'll have a big argument now. The Tigers are going to claim interference by a fan. All the while, if the runners were moving, Stanley didn't even chase the ball. He ran into Charlie talk to the umpire. And the Yankee runners scored to tie the game at 2-2. And we have got a real rhubarb on our hands here now. Ralph Houk has come out, and he is gesturing to Ken Kaiser, the first base umpire, claiming that a fan reached over and interfered with Mickey Stanley. Rosma has taken up the argument now. And apparently that'll be a home run for Mickey Rivers, the way it stands right now. And the game tied 2-2. The argument continues down back at first base. We had an announcement from the press box, but I didn't catch it. The Tigers put up a long, hard argument, but to no avail. And now Houk is going to make a pitching change at the moment. Now the Tigers contending that a fan reached over and interfered. Stanley was emphatic about it. He didn't even go to pick up the ball. Rivers just kept on circling the bases and came in for a home run to tie the game.
Strange reaction by Mickey Stanley out there in letting that ball lie and running in to argue about it with the umpire instead of picking up the ball and then doing some arguing later. I don't quite understand Mickey's reaction. It is an inside the park home run unless the call was made by Kaiser that I misunderstood, unless he was calling it a home run, and that's why Stanley just let the ball lie on the field, claiming that it was in the stands and bounced out. I'm not really sure what was done on the field. We don't have the advantage of a TV screen up here, a replay. I noticed all those in the press box. I see some of the reporters, Dick Young down there, who's the official scorer, is trying to demonstrate what he thought he saw. But next to us, George Kell and Al Kaline both indicating that a fan had reached over the edge of the stand, touched the ball, deflected it while it's in the air. Now we're getting an announcement.
The umpire waved the ball in play.
So tentatively we'll call it a two-base hit, an RBI, and a two-base error from Stanley.
That's a strange call by Dick Young. Tentatively, he says tentatively, he's going to call it a two-base hit, an RBI for Rivers, and a two-base error on Stanley, allowing the second run to score. Huh. Well, maybe we'll get a little further clarification later. In the meantime, we've got a new pitcher warming up. It's John Hiller. Now let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Warren Pierce is ready to give you a line, 875-4476, your direct line to involvement and entertainment. Weekday nights at 7 here on WJR Radio 76 Detroit.
Well, John Hiller takes over for Dave Rosemont, who had shut out the Yankees for 6 innings, only to lose the lead here in the 7th inning. The game now tied at 2-2. As Jay Johnstone steps in with the bases empty, 2 down, and Hiller on the mound. Ernie?
And it's changed in a hurry here in New York. Hiller pitching to Jay Johnstone, and he pitches high. Well, just before that pitch, all the Yankees had gathered at the far side of their dugout, and they were watching a replay on one of the cameras down there. Here's a ball outside. 2-0, the count on Jay Johnstone. Game tied 2-2 in the 7th inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. He fouls it away. Dick Young, the official scorer, as Paul told you a moment ago, has ruled at least tentatively that will be scored as a two-base hit. And an error will be charged to Stanley to let the second run score. 1 RBI for the pinch hitter Rivers. Now the windup by Hiller. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. 2-2 the count on Jay Johnstone. Rosemont out of the ball game and Hiller in it. 7 hits off Rosemont and 2 runs in 6 2/3 innings. There's a strike called. He struck him out. Johnstone is called out on strike, and the inning is over, but there's been Yankee damage. 2 runs on the 2 hits, 1 Tiger error, nobody left. And it's the end of 7, New York 2, Detroit 2.
A little-known player holds the Major League record for the most base hits in an extra inning game. Now, in the Labatt's Baseball Trivia Quiz, see if you can name that player. It's a hard one to remember, but here's something a little easier.
Remember Labatt, the clear water, blue sky, telescope, Canada beer. Labatt.
Yes, fans, the best beer Canada brews is here, Labatt's. It's imported for your special times, shipped fresh to you with pride. Labatt's, the clear water, blue sky taste of Canada beer. Brewed in Canada since 1828. Now the answers. On June 21st, 1970, Cesar Gutierrez of the Tigers set the Major League record by going 7 for 7 in a 12-inning game. Gutierrez smacked 6 singles and a double en route to his record day. Did you remember that? Then move to the head of the class in the Labatt's Baseball Trivia Quiz. Brought to you by Labatt Importers, Amherst, New York.
Did you know that the odds against shooting a hole-in-one in golf are 9,366 to 1? That's the WJR Sports Stat, and I'm Dale Conquest.
Well, some changes for the Yankees, but before we pass those along, we wanted to tell you this, that the press box has checked with the umpires, and they have ascertained that the ball was in play, and the ruling by Dick Young, the official scorer, will stand. It will be a 2-base hit for Rivers to drive in 1 run, and then Rivers himself scoring on the 2-base error charged to Mickey Stanley. The Yankee changes are these, beginning the 8th inning. Blair goes to center field. Bucky Dent takes over at short. Brian Doyle is the second baseman. And the Tiger batter will be Steve Kemp in this 2-2 deadlock in the 8th inning. Thomason is moved to right, and Johnstone is out of the game. Staub will follow, and then it'll be Thompson in the Tiger 8th inning against Guidry. And the left-hander deals a ball outside on Steve Kemp. Kemp with a single, a strikeout. He's lined into a double play. Strike on the outside corner. One and one, the count on Kemp. Nobody on, nobody out. 8th inning. Tigers at bat. Here's a foul to the screen. Guidry winds and delivers. It is a ball high. 2-2 the count. Here's the windup in the pitch. Swinged as a fly ball to left. Vanilla there has it. One away. Well, the Tigers have not had a hit since Thompson got the second run in with a home run to deep center in the 3rd inning. Here's Rusty Staub at the plate. Rusty singled in the first run in the first. He struck out in the 3rd. He fly to left in the 5th inning. Backs him away with a high, tight one. Here comes Billy Martin trotting out of the dugout now toward the mound to talk with Guidry. Lots of excitement in that last half of the 7th inning. Tigers claiming bad interference. And Stanley went back in an effort to make the catch. But their argument to no avail. As 2 runs scored to tie the game. Well, here's Martin still talking at the mound now, stops his conversation and heads back to the Yankee dugout.
Well, Ernie, that's what we were talking about yesterday when they had the short barrier out in right field. And the fans used to interfere with the outfielder out there all the time.
Absolutely, and they had a very short fence, about 4 feet high then. There's a high pop-up on the left side of the infield. Back goes Stanton to short left field. The shortstop there has it. And Staub is the second Tiger out in the 8th. That'll bring Jason Thompson to the plate. Safe on the fielder's choice. He's hit his 18th home run and he's struck out. Rose was suffering the same fate he suffered on the 22nd in Detroit when he faced Guidry in that game and pitched through 8 in the 3rd innings, and then the Yankees erupted in the 9th to win it. Starting with a home run by Reggie Jackson, you remember. There's the ball outside. Rosie has pitched well in both games. This one is tied 2-2 in the 8th. Low and outside, 2-0 on Jason Thompson. Rodriguez waiting on deck for the Tigers. Outfield straight up and deep on Thompson. He takes a hard curve wide at 3-0. So far, he's not seen anything this turn at bat that he can take a cut at. Game tied 2-2, 8th inning. Guidry winds and delivers. Here's a ball outside, and the batter will be Rodriguez. Well, the second walk issued by Guidry. Rodriguez got the first one. That was back in the 3rd inning following the home run by Thompson. Big crowd, very silent at the moment here in the 8th inning. 2-2 tie. Tigers at bat with a man at first base and 2 down. Rodriguez swings as a fly ball lifted to left field. Should be caught. Vanilla backs up a little bit. He's there. He has it. And the Tigers are out in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no walks, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the Yankee 8th inning. Tigers 2, New York 2.
When it's time for a change, what you'd probably like to have is a change for the better. That's why Marathon came up with new Ultra D motor oil. It is definitely a change for the better. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a change for better gas mileage.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change for improved engine protection.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change that means faster starts no matter what the temperature.
A change for the better.
Marathon's New Ultra D motor oil is a special blend, natural and synthetic ingredients. It's really different from conventional blends. Meaning when Ultra D gets together with the engine of your car, things do get better.
A change for the better with New Ultra D motor oil.
New Ultra D motor oil, a change for the better, from the people who do it better. Marathon Oil Company.
Make a change for the better with New Ultra D. Make a change for the better with New Ultra D.
John Hiller in relief for the Tigers. He came in relieving Rosema after the very controversial play on Rivers that eventually was ruled a double and a two-base error against Stanley. The play that tied the game at 2-2. He pitched to one man, Jay Johnstone, whom he retired on strikes. And now Nettles will be the batter. He'll be followed by Munson, and then it'll be Chambliss. Left-hander against the left-hander. Eighth inning, game deadlocked at 2-2. The pitch is in too close for the changeup. This is the first of a doubleheader in New York. High with a curve, 2-0, the count on Nettles. Outfield deep, straight away on the Gregg. Here's a wide one, ball 3 to the Yankee who's leading it off in the 8th inning, Greg Nettles. In the 2nd inning at Cincinnati, the Reds have a 3-1 lead over the Dodgers. There's the ball outside. He walked him. Oh, Nettles gets the pass. The first Yankee walk today. And the batter will be Munson, who has double, single, and fly to right. Two-run, 7 hits, 2 errors for New York. The Tigers 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Heavy part of the Yankee batting order now. The number 3 slot. Then Chambliss, the cleanup man, waiting on deck. Rodriguez near the line at third base. And behind the bag just slightly. Thompson will hold over the first base with Nettles, the runner. So here's Munson taking his time, settling himself into the right-hand batter's box against the left-hander John Hiller of the Tigers. Runner goes. The ball is hit on the ground to left. Base hit on a hit and run. Nettles turning his second, heads to third. Kemp has the ball. Throw to third. Not in time. He's safe. The Yanks have runners at first and third and nobody down. Chambliss coming to bat as they work the hit and run. Munson weighs in with his third hit this afternoon in this first game. And now Hiller in deep trouble. Man at first, man at third. The tie-breaking run at third base in the persons of Nettles. Munson at first. Nobody out, and Chambliss at the plate. Tigers will have to play their infield in tight. A little bit closer in on the left than on the right. They've got Thompson holding on the bag. So it's Chambliss at the plate and Hiller on the mound. 2-2 tie, 8th inning. Nobody out. The pitch on the way. He jammed him up high and tight. Ball 1, the count on Chris Chambliss. Nettles at third, Munson at first base. Nobody down, 8th inning. There's a strike called on the outside corner. 1-1 the count on him. Hiller in a very tight spot in the 8th inning. Sets and deals. There's a swing and a long drive to right. It may hook foul. It is a foul ball deep in the seat. Oh, he hit that one the wrong way, and he hit it hard, but he pulled it foul down the line. 1-2, the count on Chambliss. Hiller looks in to get his sign from Parrish. Now the left-hander to the set position pitches. Is a foul out of play. He reached out on an outside curve and barely got a piece of it. 1-2 the count on Chris. Two tie, 2 on for the Yanks. Nobody down. 8th inning. Set by Hiller. He pitches. It is a swing and a foul up the mid of Parrish. Still up there with the same count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tigers got a run in the first inning on 3 singles. They scored again in the third on a home run by Thompson. Then the Yankees came back in the 7th on a single by Thompson, a double by Rivers, a 2-base error by Stanley to tie the game. Now the set and the pitch. Chambliss swings. There's a fly ball foul back to third. It'll reach the seat. Rosema started for the Tigers, and Hiller took over in the 7th inning to get the final out in that very hectic inning. New York and Pittsburgh in the National League rained out. Nothing any later from Cincinnati. They're still leading the Dodgers in the second 3-1. Now Chambliss getting back in the batter's box. 1-2 the count on him. Hiller to the set position, kicks and deals. Here's a fly ball to right field. Stanley has plenty of room. He's under it, makes the catch. Here's a tag by Nettles. He'll score the tie-breaking run. The throw comes into Whitaker, and holding it first is Munson. Yankees lead it 3-2. Sacrifice for Chambliss to put the New Yorkers into a 1-run lead. Coming to bat. 3-2. The Yankees lead in the 8th. Vanella has bounced to short, grounded the third into a 4th out, and fly to center. Fly ball hit the very deep center. As LaFleur came over into left center field to make the catch. Now Vanella takes a high breaking ball 1. Yankees have the lead for the first time this afternoon, 3-2. Hiller ready, kicks and deal, runner goes, high pitch, throw by Parrish into Whitaker. He is out at second base. Munson cut down, going on the pitch. Oh, that's 2 down with nobody on. 2-0, the count on Vanella. Munson getting a hand as he comes off the base pads. How about the time Hiller was ready to pitch, Vanella stepped away from the plate. He takes a high one, ball 3 on Lou. The walk to Nettles, hit and run single by Munson in the sacrifice, putting the Yankees in front by 1 in the 8th inning. Vanella swings and fouls it away. They gave him the green light on 3-0, but he didn't get very good wood on it. Wind up by Hiller, the pitch. He swings and lifts one high in the air out toward shortstop. Trammell is calling for it. He has it, and the Yankees are out, but they get a run to take the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 8, New York 3, Detroit 2.
I've got grease on my fingers, oil on my shoes, I'm always under the hood. But I wouldn't change places with anyone else, even if I could. I worked on every car, big and small, every kind of engine too. And there's one thing that applies to them all, whether they're old or new. You can't buy better plug for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's #1 in the world, and #1 in your car. Some folks don't mind working in a big place, be part of a team. that engine, nobody in between. You can't buy better blood green. No, you can't buy better blood green. You can't run champion. You can't buy better blood no matter where you are in champion. No, you can't.
This is Jim Garrett. Visit the new Detroit Science Center. It's open Tuesday through Sunday. It's in the Cultural Center on John R. and Warren.
New Yankee pitcher with the Tigers coming to bat in the ninth inning. It'll be the hard-throwing right-hander Gossage. Purdue coming in to do the pitching. He's won 3 and lost 7. This will be his 30th appearance. He leads this team in saves. He has 11. Sparky Lyle has 7. Rich Gossage, the hard-throwing right-hander, taking over now. Stanley scheduled to lead off, and then Parrish and Campbell to follow in the ninth inning. The Yankees 3 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. The Tigers have 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Well, Guidry walked 2, struck out 6, allowed 2 runs and 6 hits in 8 innings, and leaves with a lead. So he cannot be the losing pitcher, but he can be the winning pitcher. Yankees picked up Rich Gossage, you remember. Their first pick in the 77 free agent draft. They gave him a 6-year contract. He pitched last year at Pittsburgh, and prior to that had been a fine reliever for the Chicago White Sox. From Colorado Springs, the big hard-throwing right-hander Rich Gossage, and Stanley will be the first man to face him. Mickey's had a single, a couple of bounce-outs. 1 for 3 for the Tiger right fielder. Yankees have the lead. Ninth inning, the Tigers trying to battle their way back here. And there's a foul out of play. Back into the upper deck and then bouncing down on the screen when a fan missed it. Another game to follow. This is the first of a Sunday doubleheader. The third game in the 4-game series. Gossage winds and pitches, and Stanley takes the ball. 1-1 the count on him. The Yankees lead by 1, 3-2. The 2 starters have now departed the scene. There's a cut and a miss on an inside fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Stanley. Parrish waiting at the on-deck circle. Gossage ready to go. Stanley getting back into the batter's box after being out for a moment. Here's the wind-up in the pitch. He swings, and it's one past the mound down to Bucky Dennis short. Bucky flips it over to Chambliss, and Stanley's out. 1 up and 1 away, and the Tiger batter will be Parrish. He struck out twice against the left-hander Guidry and bounced to third. Now facing a right-hander Gossage. Sam will do up next, but Milton Mays on the on-deck circle. Gossage delivers, and it is a ball outside, a ball run on land. Yanks 3, the Tigers 2, ninth inning. There's an outside pitch, 2-0, the count on Parrish. Staub and Thompson have the Tiger RBI. Staub with a single, Thompson with a home run. The Tigers have not had a hit since that home run that came in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss on a hard one around the knees. 2-1 on Parrish. Six hits by the Tigers. 6 different batters have them. He swings and fouls it to the screen. 2-2 the count on him. LaFleur, Kemp, Staub, Stanley, and Whitaker with a single apiece. And Thompson with a home run. That's the Tiger hitting. Now, Gossage has gone to a 2-2 count on Parrish. 1 out of the 9th inning. The wind-up and the pitch. He cuts and pops it up foul out of play. 2-2 the count on him. Three runs, 8 hits, 2 errors by New York. Detroit 2 runs, 6 hits, they've made 1 error. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing a little pop fly out toward first baseman Chambers. He's there, he has it. And there are 2 down in the Tiger ninth. That leaves it up to Milt May. May is batting for Trammell. Left hand hitting catch at the plate. Batting average .261. Seven home runs, 24 runs batted in. Here's the wind-up and the pitch to Milt. He chopped one on the ground to Bucky Dad. He has it. Here's the throw to first. Game's over. The Yankees won the opener. In the net, the Tigers go down 1-2-3. The final score, New York 3, Tigers 2.
A depressing, discouraging loss in the opening game of this doubleheader for the Tigers, who had led 2-0 from the 3rd inning until a hotly disputed play in the 7th inning gave the Yankees a pair of runs to tie the game. And then with relief pitcher John Hiller on the mound, the Yankees got a sacrifice fly from Chris Chambliss. It breaks the 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Rich Gossage came on in the 9th inning to nail it down for Ron Guidry, who has indeed set a Yankee record for the fastest start in the history of the franchise. He has won 13 straight games now as Gossage picked up his 12th save to take over the American League lead in that department. Hiller is stung with a loss, his 4th against 6 wins. John had relieved Dave Roosevelt after the hotly disputed controversial play in the 7th inning. And Hiller worked an inning in the 3rd, allowing the 1 run that gave the Yankees the win. He gave up 1 hit, walked a man, and the man who walked, Greg Nettles, scored the run that won it for New York in the 8th inning. Roosevelt had given up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. He allowed 7 hits, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 1 in a fine performance by Rosie. But it was not to be the Tigers' day, at least in the opening game of this doubleheader, as the Yankees made it look easy once they caught up in the 7th inning and put it away in the win column. The totals for New York: 3 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. They left 5 on base. For Detroit, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. And they left 6 on base. Hiller Belusi, Guidry the winner with a save going to Rich Gossage. The game took 2 hours and 18 minutes to play. I'll be back with more on this game and that play in the 7th inning after these messages. Well, they're getting the field ready for Game 2 out here at Yankee Stadium, and the fans, big crowd on hand today, being entertained by the Connecticut Hurricanes Drum and Bugle Corps from Shelton, Connecticut. Tigers had led all the way until the 7th inning in this game. In the 1st inning, the first 3 men reached base on hits. Ron LaFleur singled to left. Steve Kemp safe on a bunt single. As LaFleur took 2nd, Rusty stopped and singled to right to score LaFleur. But then a fielder's choice and a double play took the Tigers out of what could have been a bigger inning. And then Guidry seemed to settle down a little bit after the first 3 innings. In the 2nd inning, the Tigers picked up a pair of singles, but did not score. In the 3rd inning, they got their last hit of the ball game off Guidry and Gossage. With 2 outs, Jason Thompson powered his 18th homer of the year over the fence in straightaway center field to make it 2-0 Tigers. And it stayed that way until the 7th inning. With 1 out, Gary Thomason got a single on a check swing hit out over shortstop. And then with 2 outs, Mickey Rivers, just reinstated today from the disabled list, came into pinch hit. He did a foul ball earlier down the right field line that Stanley might have had a chance to catch in the corner there in foul territory, but for a fan reaching over and interfering with his chance to catch the ball. On the next play, a long fly ball to right field. Stanley climbed partway up the wall, looked like he had a chance to catch the ball, And the fan reached over, from what we can ascertain here in the press box. The fan reached over, and the ball was deflected away from Stanley. Mickey did not go after the baseball. It lay on the warning track. He immediately raced in to Ken Kaiser, the umpire, to argue. In the meantime, the runner Thomason had scored the first run. Rivers raced all the way around the bases and was given the second run to tie the ball game. The Tigers contending, interference on the play. It was not upheld, and a double was given to Mickey Rivers. The official scorer, Dick Young, claiming the ball was indeed in play, checked with the umpires, and it lay on the warning track as Rivers came on in. They gave a double to Rivers and a two-base error to Mickey Stanley, who let the ball lie on the warning track out there and raced in to argue instead of following up the play. As a result, Rivers scored to tie the game, and in the ninth and the eighth inning, the Yankees won it when Nettles led off with a walk, took third on a hit-and-run single by Thurman Munson, and scored on the sacrifice fly by Chris Chambliss. Well, the Yankees win the opener of this doubleheader and now lead in the weekend series 2-1 with a windup coming up. In game 2, it will be for Detroit, Jim Clayton, and for the Yankees, a rookie left-hander, Dave Racich. And we'll be coming back with the resumption of the broadcast from Yankee Stadium in approximately 15 minutes. So for now, for Ernie Harwell, this is Paul Carey saying so long. The final score again of the opening game here, with the New York Yankees 3, the Detroit Tigers 2.